Hello, I'm Piers Corbyn from Weather Action Long Range Weather and Climate Forecasters. Today is February the 26th, 2010, and I'm going to give you a brief summary report on the winter around the world and a short summary of what to expect in March. Okay, this winter, December to February, has been very much as we predicted in Europe and in America. It's been a winter of discontent, not just for the public, but also for the global warmers in their belief system has taken a thrashing. Now, we're not going to talk about that much right now. We're going to deal with that in a separate presentation. Weather Action's long-range winter forecast for Britain, Ireland, Europe and the United States of America has been very successful indeed, and we've received widespread acclaim. We said it would be cold and snowy. We said it would start early, and indeed it did, and we said it would carry on. It began in Copenhagen, to most people's minds, which was very interesting because again that contrasted with what the global warmers had been saying. In terms of our detailed forecast, that was also very good. We predicted specifically a whole number of snow deluges in the United Kingdom and Ireland and Europe, which happened on time, and similarly they happened in the United States of America. And at the same time this winter we successfully identified events on the sun and their direct linkage in time with events on the Earth. For example, the 18th to 20th of January there were specific solar flare events on the sun, the first M flare for 2 years, the awakening, if you like, of solar cycle 24. And then following that, very quickly, there was a southern ionospheric disturbance, and there were wobbles in the jet stream, and you can see all these on the website. And there was wobbles in what's happening around the North Pole, and then there were great blasts of cold air rushing out in certain very specific directions. For example, some of them rushed towards North Russia and China and led to the freezing of the sea in northeast China, which we specifically predicted. And we also specifically predicted related snow deluges in America. And the important thing was both these general events happened and the specific timings were correct. In terms of America, it's very important to understand the reason for all this was a predicted ridge of high pressure in the Rockies. Now, the consequence of that, of course, is there was a sliver of warm, indeed very mild weather, just on the very edge of the United States and spreading into Canada, which gave us the mild Olympics. But the mild Olympics were nothing to do with global warming. All weather is caused by pressure patterns. We predicted this pressure pattern. And the pressure pattern in general, we have to say, was contrary to anything the global warmers told us to expect for this winter. There was an interesting series of SWIPs, solar weather impact periods, from the 18th of February up to around now, 26th or 27th of February. The first of these, 18th and 19th, there was a lot of extra snow which closed Birmingham Airport. And there was more snow then, you see, than standard meteorology predicted. Now, whenever we have these solar weather impact periods, particularly if they're extreme ones, and it specifies this in the British Isles forecasts, whenever you have these, you can double or treble the amount of snowfall or rainfall which standard meteorology will be announcing from maybe a day or so ahead. That happened in this case. The next one was the 21st of February. Although close together, we knew there was separate events on the sun and impacts on the Earth. And for that, we predicted there would be the formation of a new tropical cyclone around the international dateline in the South Pacific. That happened on time. At the same time, there was gigantic floods in Madeira. We hadn't predicted that specifically because we don't predict everything yet, but that was part of the same solar weather impact period. And in the Britain and Europe, there was also a lot of enhanced snow activity, and this time Luton Airport was closed. Again, much more snow than standard meteorology had predicted. And another development, which is specifically identified on our new European Euromaps forecasts, which are available on the web, we predicted the formation of a deep low off Spain or moving into Biscay, that type of region, which would bring loads of rain, thunderstorms and so on there. That is forming as we speak today. So we're very, very pleased with that. In terms of comparing our forecast with that of standard meteorology for the summer, as everyone knows, our forecast has been verified. Standard meteorology forecast for a mild winter has failed absolutely. And we did announce, as soon as they announced it, that it would fail absolutely. But this isn't just a game. Their failed forecast resulted in the United Kingdom, again, for a second year running out of salt. In fact, loads of European countries run out of salt. The consequence of that was massive travel disruption, which need not have taken place, and deaths on the road. The global warming hypothesis, which leads into their failed forecast, is now killing people. And it is up to governments to actually be honest and say, look, that is failed science. Let's just use something that works. That's what they should be doing. They could use our forecast. And we've written to Hilary Benn, MP, the Minister for Environment in the United Kingdom, said, do you want to know what the summer's going to be like? He hasn't replied. Doesn't he want to know if there's going to be a flood or not? I don't know. It beggars belief. But let's just note, standard meteorology for all the extreme, the last 5 extreme seasons has failed. They failed to get the floods in Britain on summer 07, summer 08, summer 09. They failed for the cold winter of 08-09 and failed again for 09-010. So their score is 0 out of 5. Our score is 5 out of 5. We believe we have to base the advance of science on evidence, not on spin. Okay. So what is going to happen then in March? Well, March 2010 is going to be the worst possible March you can imagine, because it's going to be generally, for Britain and Ireland and many parts of Europe, cold, wet and windy with snow and frosts and fog in many places, which is not going to help plant growth or anything, and it's going to cause trouble and travel disruption, because some of the rain will be heavy, very heavy. There'll be floods and hail. But there's going to be one brief, very warm, even hot spell especially in southern England and parts of the continent, which is going to last about 5 days. Now that will bring forth all the shoots which have so far been held back. So there'll be some green shoots of agricultural recovery, possibly a little economic recovery, who knows. But when it's over, those shoots will get zapped. And there will not be another warm spell in the whole month. So that's the end of our summary. If you want to know more about it, get it on the website. And shortly we'll also be producing a situation report on the Climate Gate scandal and climate change debate. Thank you.